Okay, I guess ease it up slow.
Y'all better step inside the Quonset hut and ride this storm out with me. We'll get some work done too if we can. Around here we call this taking one for the team. Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and today I've got my dad here to help me, and we're gonna see if we can make some improvements to my milling stand, and we're gonna find out if we can transport it. Because I've committed to go to the Oklahoma Homesteading Expo in about 3 weeks. Actually, we're both going, and we're gonna mill lumber for 2 days at this show. If I can get the mill there and set up. And I really think it needs some cross bracing, and more than anything, I need to find out if I can lift it high enough with the tractor to get it onto the trailer. So that's what we're gonna do. I think the very first thing we'll do is find out if we can pick this up.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
The show is in Pryor, Oklahoma, June 2nd and 3rd if you wanna go. That's about an hour and 10 minutes from me. And the plan to do this, because when I'm there, I have to be able to unload the mill. And while I'm there, I have to be able to load logs onto the mill. And I'm lucky to have 2 machines that I think can lift this. So the plan is take the tractor to the show, drop it off. Come back, use the skid loader to load the mill, take the mill down there, unload it with the tractor. Come back, get a full load of logs, load them with the skid loader, unload them with the tractor when I get there. And all of that, the only hiccup I see is if for some reason the tractor is not capable of loading this mill onto the trailer. £1,500. Actually, an inch off the ground, it should do 17, and it's not. So this weighs more than that.
Your stand's too heavy.
So we can either figure out a way to lift the power head on and off with this, or to take the mill off the stand to take it down there.
You think that would lose enough weight that it could be lifted then?
Yes. I know that the mill does not weigh more than my lift capacity. It's a good thing we tried this today.
Looks like you need a tractor. I think my old Toro would move that.
Yeah, it feels like somebody overbuilt this mill stand. Who needed a heavy mill stand like this?
Well, you plan on hold up heavy logs, you probably ought to have a heavy stand.
I do like working up in the air. I like the look of it. She's a beaut, Clark. I've never done this, but other people, commenters, are always telling me flip your forks upside down. So we'll see if it works. Hey, they're not that heavy.
Forks on mine are about twice that thick. They were actually originally fork truck forks.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're monsters. You're never going to bend one, but you don't want to take them on and off either.
Grunt and groan.
Yes, I should have done that for you.
No.
Now, we want this and completely off out of the way, don't we?
You guys say something if you see him working too hard. He had a heart surgery like a year and a half ago.
It's been a couple now. I don't know why you thought that was heavy.
It seems to me like it'll balance better if you are lifting from 2 spots.
You talked me into it.
Oh man, these are heavy, but luckily I'm really tough. Okay.
Well, see, I'm in good shape because I lift a lot more weight than that every time I stand up out of a chair, you know.
Yes.
Lifting 250 pounds every time I stand up.
All right, let's see what we get here. Think it's gonna be tall enough.
Okay, I guess ease it up slow. We're off of it. I don't like it, but we're off of it.
So now to check out our stand and make sure we can still carry it, we need to flip the forks over.
Yep, that's why I slid this one over.
I want to do it instead of you doing it again. And then I think we need to get something to drink. I have a drinking problem,
Uh-huh.
but it's not alcohol.
You say you want me to do it instead of you this
No,
time?
easy, easy.
What makes you think I can't lift?
You got to watch out for the elderly, though. And if you guys think
The
I'm
only
being,
danger I'm in is I might drop it on my toe.
if you guys think I'm being rude or hateful to my dad, he is picking on me constantly the same way. Like I don't know how to do anything, or
That's my job.
of course, you guys see me not knowing how to do much. You should have seen me like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, now I can change a tire and all kinds of stuff.
He'd call me up and ask me how to change a light switch. And now he wires up his shop.
That's how that goes. You didn't know anything at one time, did you?
I didn't know a thing.
Now
But
it's-
probably the reason he had to learn was because he got tired of me telling him, oh, that's easy, just go do it.
Right. Now, the big question is, can it carry that stand? And it darn well better be. Come on, Big John, you can handle it. Now, we need to be able to lift the bottom of this 36 inches up in the air and move it. And pretty sure that's going to work. That once we do, we're going to try to square this thing up and reinforce it.
Going. That's 40 inches. That's so good.
We built this stand up there on the flat concrete in front of the shop, and it felt like it was pretty square and flat. But I leveled the ground down here and brought this down and set it down, and this corner is not touching the ground. And we put a level on it. The corner that's not touching the ground is too high. So this stand that was built out of rough sawn wood has a little bit of a twist or a bow in it where this end is higher. Now we were able to make the mill level with these adjustments here. This one has 2 inches of thread sticking out of the nut, and this one doesn't even have enough thread to get to the top of the nut. So we were able to level the mill, but the stand isn't level. And that's fine. We could mill with it like that forever, unless we're moving it around. And if you're moving it around, every place you take it, you're gonna have to, level your ground to match. So we're gonna see if we can square this up a little bit real quick. And if we can't, that's all right.
It's hard to tell which one needs to be shortened.
Outside. So if we measure this diagonal as 32.5, measure the same place here. Is maybe 33.25. It's easy to measure right here and see it clearly. 40 1/4, 39 1/2. So this number is longer. Yeah, this side's too high, and you get a longer diagonal measurement this way. So if we can squeeze this together a little bit and get those two numbers the same, and then while it is squeezed together, we put our diagonal bracing on, and those diagonal braces were the point of this anyway, then that should work. We measured from this corner to here. It's about 42 3/8. 42 1/4. Let's look at it somewhere, a different spot, and take the measurement. It's 33 1/8 in between there. It's close. Okay, it feels like this chain has squared that up just a little bit. Now we're gonna find some lumber and make braces to go all the way down this that go. And my idea with these braces is to fit them into this corner and into this corner. And there's about 1 1/4 of overhang down here at the bottom. So a 1x material, like 1x6 maybe, on each leg, make crosses out of it, is going to stabilize this so it's always as square as it is right now. Dad's the one with the smarts, so he's going to figure out how we're going to turn these into braces that stabilize the mill stand.
There are probably more elaborate ways of getting these angles where we're going to put it in, but a simple method that should work is just to cut the length from one point to the other, mark the center, and then match it up with the corner and mark it.
And the wood we're using it was 1 1/8 and it shrunk a little, or 1 1/16. I think the two of us did this together on chainsaw mill, but this is oak and more than a true inch. Should be pretty sturdy.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about taking this up to the miter saw now, so.
Freight truck just left and dropped off this one pallet right here. And this is something I am really excited about. This crate is going to be how I spend a lot of my time for the next month. You're going to see a lot of videos about this project, but I'm not going to tell you what it is today. Weighs about 600 pounds and there are multiple things inside there, but I want it to be a surprise. I think my dad took our board up and was making the angled cuts on the miter saw. But we're making progress. This will be like a glove. We're gonna need some butter to put this in. It's gonna be such a good fit.
Some of those O.J. Simpson gloves?
I have no comment on that. I would ask the court clerk to strike that from the record. Boy, that's a thing of beauty right there.
Don't screw that in place. Try it in another spot and then make more like it.
This might be our pattern if it's close somewhere else. Now in theory, we should be able to, should go like this and fit the next one.
That's really close.
Okay, this is our pattern. Let's do 1, 2, 3. We need 6 of those. That ain't going nowhere. We were buzzing right along and I lost track of time. I had to go to my son's baseball game. Just got back from that. It's about 7:30. Should be dark in about half an hour. But according to the forecast, we have severe storms coming in. That is what we're getting right now. Severe thunderstorm warning. It's 7:15, so 7:45 it's supposed to hit. I'm gonna get the mill moved inside, and I still want to finish this tonight. What we got done was the first brace installed, 2 more braces cut. We've got quite a few more to do. I'd like to not only get them cut and applied, but also sealed tonight, weather permitting. Y'all better step inside the Quonset hut and ride this storm out with me. We'll get some work done too if we can. Kind of awkward getting under here, but I guess I can crawl under. Around here we call this taking one for the team. Woo, doggy. So I shut the camera off. I was going to leave it off until I was done with these boards because it's repetitive. I think I'll just turn it on and see what happens. That sounded like little hail, but it's just sprinkling rain. But we'll keep the camera on just in case we get some crazy storm activity here. After I crawled under there on that second cross piece, turns out I don't need to crawl under there. Man, that is going to make this stand so much stronger. With those alternating on each brace, that ain't going nowhere. Getting a decent amount of rain. Sounds like more than it is when you're sitting in here. You know, when the tin roof gets to talking, I start thinking about how much rain is a good thing. Because if you didn't know, rain makes corn beautiful. Like a glove. Another one bites the dust. Got the old Thompson's water seal here. Definitely should be enough to finish this. Well, the humidity is probably a little high to be applying anything. Showing high chance of rain for the next couple hours, and then it's gonna move on. Just a few boards. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Brings back a memory of the Tulsa Farm Show 2.5 years ago. Walking up to the Quonset hut booth and feeling like a sucker because that guy talked me into buying one. I wanted a pole barn, but I felt like I couldn't afford one. And he just talked me into it. And pretty glad to have it right now. Well, I'm gonna call this video good news and bad news. Good news is we found out exactly what we need to do to haul the mill down to this expo we're going to. I am really excited about that. I hope a few of you are able to come check it out. The other piece of good news is we got the bracing in there. So this thing is now a lot more sturdy, a lot safer. It feels like nothing has any chance of a log like breaking the stand. I mean, this thing, you could put 10,000 pounds on it easily. I think the mill itself would reach a weight limit before the stand. The bad news is the fact it's unlevel is exactly the way it was before we started. We gave it a try to level it with those chains and didn't seem like it changed it at all. But now we know that it's going to stay exactly the way it is, and we can just raise that spot a little bit higher and level the mill back out. Anyway, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.